Community, education for socially engaged art. What is SEA? Socially engaged art, or SEA, is an art project made by a community for the betterment of the society. Usually the artist in charge will talk with the community about how they want their art project to come out. The author discusses 5 main elements created by SEA. A. The construction of a community. Relationships can widely vary between the artist and the community. Some can create positive social values while others produce negative values. For example, a children's mural may create a positive, feel-good relationship with the community, while other art made by disadvantaged and marginalized groups will not have the same positive vibe due to the lack of passion the artist had for their work. There are many different types of participation in socially engaged art, which are further discussed in the next section. B. Multi-layered participatory structures. The different types of participation in socially engaged art are as listed below. 1. Normal participation, where the viewer contemplates the work in a reflective manner. 2. Directed participation, where the viewer contemplates a simple task to contribute to the creation of the work. An example would be leaving a note in a suggestion box. 3. Creative participation. Creative participation occurs when the viewer provides content for an important part of the artwork. An example would be someone volunteering to be a soldier in a reenactment of the Civil War. 4. Collaborative participation. This occurs when the viewer shares responsibility for developing the structure and content of the work directly with the artist. Normal and direct participation occur usually only in a single moment. Creative and collaborative participation occur in multiple occasions over the course of a longer time period. None of these forms are necessarily more successful than the others, just some communities tend to participate more fully when creating artwork. Knowing the predispositions of the volunteers helping to create the socially engaged art is crucial for the success of the artwork itself. The different types of predispositions of the volunteers are voluntary, where the volunteer knows fully what they are doing and actively participates in the artwork. An example would be acting in a flash mob. Non-voluntary predisposition, where the volunteers may have been forced to participate, such as a high school class project or community service hours. And lastly, involuntary predisposition occurs when the volunteer encounters the project without full knowledge that it is an art project. Non-voluntary and involuntary workers may have a lower excitement and level of passion for the work they are going to undertake, which means the artist in charge must try to engage favorably with the volunteers so the artwork does not suffer.
C. Visual participation, social media. Social networks have allowed communities to effectively communicate. For example, Blackboard and Haiku provide areas where members can interact, comment, and exchange information on the production of a product. And members are able to easily exchange information and ideas on SEAs. Social networks online can be beneficial vehicles for continuing work that has been started in person. D. Time and effort. It takes a lot of time and effort to master a skill, and many SEAs fail because of time restraints. For example, an artist may be invited a few months in advance to an event to do a site-specific community collaboration. By the time the artist has found the people to do it, it is likely that the time is limited and the end result is rushed. Therefore, the art is rushed. And it is important for the artist to know the community. So most successful SEAs are developed by artists who have worked in a particular community for a long time and has developed a relationship with those participants. E. Audience questions. It is a common perception that artists should not have an audience in mind. They believe that they don't need an audience in mind and that it's a contradiction to have one, because if the art is new, how can there be an audience already? And preconceived audience sound reductive and prone to mistakes to them. However, the author believes that they should, and he believes they are necessary and that it's impossible to create art without assuming those that will view or take part in it. When people organize an event, they make decisions regarding hypothetical audiences. After conducting interviews The author believes artists make work for themselves, not the audience, so that leads them to wonder how one's notion of oneself is created. Is it a vast group of people who have influenced their views and values, or is it a silent way of speaking to the portion of the civilization summarized in one's mind? No audience construct is absolute, just fictional groups of people based on assumptions. However, different fields show that it's better to work with one rather than not. Conclusion. So many different relationships are established through SEAs, many different forms of participation in art and predispositions of volunteers. Social networks help communication for SEAs. It is important to know the community, and artists must be clear with themselves in choosing the audience for their work.